south, J local train. The next stop is Broadway Junction.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Put a lot of tools in my toolbox. I was at one time the art director for Starter. I was the guy who made a lot of the shirts over at Target and developed their wash library. From screen print, I've been all over the world. Did every kind of pant with every kind of pocket you could think of in your life. Designed outerwear, designed everything, and then on into collection, and then senior design. And then you start to learn about fashion, learn about how you can have a store and how to merchandise that store, and it's a really my product has both in its design itself because of what I want, but also sort of the projects of doing an American-made brand put certain parameters around the brand.
Yeah.
I was once told in China needles are free, which meaning you can put every kind of detail you want. It doesn't matter. It's not going to cost the garment that much more. We're here in New York. That's different. So you have to be more. The things that you can do are silhouette and classic and button and little details like this detail go a long ways.
Yeah.
I had a customer come by last night, and every time I see a 4-button sleeve placket, I know Robert James has been around. The very first one I made in my room, way before I had the store, when I used to make my stuff in my room, was this one, and it had the toile, but this is 5 years old, so nobody is possibly going to have that anymore. I wish they still had this fabric. I really loved it. Other things that we do here, starting in suiting. We're going to take that to another level this next year. I can't wait for that. Just getting the silhouettes and the fit and how to make it and what I want it to be like down. And the shirts are probably my next big thing. This happens to be a really lightweight
nice feel.
denim. This was also purchased here in our local community. This was dead stock. When it's gone, it's gone.
You say purchase a local community. How does that work? You go there's a place where you recycle stuff?
What happens is big companies make big orders, and they have some left, and so I have a guy who finds me some really great stuff out of that.
Okay.
This was Burberry Twill. Burberry made a raincoat out of it, and I made a shirt. Okay. It's a hell of a shirt, because it's very...
video.
Okay. How long has it been around for?
About 40 years this year.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what's the story behind it?
Rafik Azuni is the founder of the company, and he started the company in... I guess what is it? 1979, I think it finally started to be a dub house. It was before a screening room for all the original filmmakers in New York.
Okay.
Like the avant-garde cinema, the people who couldn't afford to make films. And so they all kind of came to this building. Rafik invited them to show films because he had this huge loft space that was just empty, and he loved cinema, and he was making his own films, so started as UP Film Group, and then it became Rafik Video because it started to transition into doing transfers and editing on videotape. Video came in, pretty soon, and then it became a business of transfer and duplicates of all the films that they were making, so they could show people their work. In 2008, we started to really look at how technology was moving, and it's moving very fast. And so all the machines are becoming they've become very much smaller, and access to them is easier, and people are able to communicate very, very much easier. So it's mostly via computer, which is very small.
Yeah.
And before, you had huge industrial mechanics that had to do the job you needed to get done to be seen. So now you don't need those machines anymore. You pretty much just need a phone. So if you can imagine, we have all this space. So we decided to try and communicate with, on a larger level with the community by having events.
What's your name, dude?
It's Christian Carlson.
Where are we?
You're at King's Road Home in Soho.
What's the story? I mean, you sound like you're from... Where are you from? Are you from London? Or?
From London.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have this business in London as well? Or?
I did not, actually. I was in fashion for years.
Okay.
and got totally burnt out, and I got out of fashion and opened up.
What's, I mean, like inspiration?
What do we carry? Everything has to be organic in nature. It has to be green. Even these floors they've been reclaimed.
Okay.
Even the wood on this bed, everything is being reclaimed. We don't cut down any.
What does it mean by reclaim? What's the word reclaim?
We don't cut down any new trees.
Oh, okay.
So none at all. So everything is green.
Really? I didn't know that.
Eco.
Has it always been that way?
Always.
So before people were talking about green, Christian, you were already trying to think about ways to recycle things that already exist.
We've been doing it ever since the inception. So.
And what date did you start here again?
12 years ago now.
Okay. So the countries that you're inspired from, like some of the places you go?
Southeast Asia, South America, primarily Brazil, Chile, now Mexico. So we're doing a whole new line out of recycled telephone poles. Okay. And the reason why I named this my baby here, Kings Road Home, is because Kings Road back in the 60s all the way to the early 80s was the creative center of London. And, you know, they were all small little boutique stores, mostly fashion and antiques. They were extremely creative. You know, in fashion, for instance, you would have one run of sizes and it would be done. So it's almost couture.
Okay.
That's how it was. And one day I walked into my favorite store called Charcoal on the Kings Road. And these were the days of the zoot suit.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with the zoot suit. And I became friendly with the owner. I couldn't quite afford it at the time, but I told him, listen, hold this particular one for me. I will come and buy it. Every week I went into that store to try on that suit. You know, it became kind of a joke. Finally, I had all the money together. I was ready to go buy the suit. I walked into Charcoal. I said, hey, Steve, how you doing? He goes, hey, Christian, do you want to try on your suit again? I said, please. So I tried on the suit, standing in front of the mirror. And who walks in? Mr. Taylor from Duran Duran walks in. And he goes, that's a bloody nice suit. You got another one? And Steve, the owner or the designer, said, no, I don't. Christian is wearing it. He goes, give me the size up. So it was both of us standing in front of the mirror, posing in the same suit. But his one was a little too big. Finally, he said, you know what, I'm going to buy both suits. I'll pay for yours as well, and I'm going to have my one altered size down. So that was it. And things like that just don't happen.
Yeah, man, that's good. Yeah.
This is really, I had to name the store Kings Road.
Yeah.